Well, let's see. A lot of my subscribers have been private messaging me wondering where I've been, and I haven't posted anything in a while, so I thought I would post a video. And what? I said you already made that one. What do you mean I already made this one? Yeah, look. Here. See for yourself. Well, let's see. A lot of my subscribers have been messaging me and... Oh. Well, this is awkward. I guess just talk quietly amongst yourselves for a second. What should I make on it? I don't know. I can't even do something. Maybe make it different, like different tools or something. I guess I could do my tools, yeah. All right. Yeah. Yeah, so I'm going to do a video about the tools that I use. Let's start with pliers. Gotta have your parallels. That's a must-have, parallels. Basic side snips. These are the really good flush cut snips. I use these every time I'm making something. And snips like that. I'm not sure the names of these, but and then the nylon with the round. Use that quite a bit too. Needle nose, bent needle nose. And miscellaneous just pliers, you know. Double nylon. Use these quite a bit too. Prong setters. These are nice. What I did with these is I cut a notch right there. And then a notch right there. Whoops. And a notch right there. Because I found that I was often slipping off of the prong. That cutting that little notch in there helped a lot. Side cutters. This is and again, I don't know what these are called, but you have the half round here and then the matching other side there. Needle nose, double round needle nose. I use these for jump rings and stuff like that. If I'm going to do a one-off, or I need a couple of jump rings, or a lot of times if I'm making a bail, I'll use these to get the round on the bail. That's the pliers. Pliers like these come in handy too. for bending sheet, stuff like that. Well, they're getting rusty, but you know, you can go, you can spend a lot of money at jewelry supply, and you can get a tool just as effective at your local box store or hardware store. I have this clamp right here. It's a big C clamp. I think it's made for like welding. But same thing. It's just a Irwin brand that I got at Home Depot, and holds my peg on there. Let's see. Screwdrivers. Same thing. I mean, yard sale, you know. I use these quite a bit for mechanical stuff, not so much in the jewelry world, but they come in handy often. And I've got these little pin vices. For burnishing or miscellaneous things. And I got a kit here. I gotta put all this stuff away after I'm done making the video. And my blades. It's important to have sharp blades. And I have two of these because I have one that I keep a very sharp blade on. And then I have my one that's like scraping things and, you know, stuff that doesn't need to be that precise. Just my all-around blade. And tweezers. And of course, my copper tongs for the acid. Made in India. And then I have these cross locks. Use these a lot. And the alligator clip. And then of course my welding station is right here. I got a crucible that was really thick, and it took a long time to heat up. So I took a saw and I cut the bottom off of that crucible to make the crucible itself thinner. I also cut some holes in there to make balls. But this works pretty good as a soldering surface, or the good old charcoal. Let's see, torches. I got my Smith's little torch. Couldn't live without it. And my Bernzomatic butane. Use this a lot, quite a bit. I got these little pen torches, pencil torch. These are kind of a gimmick more than practical. I got them at a yard sale. I think it was a yard sale. They're brand new in a pack, and I'm like, eh, why not? But yeah, there's more of a gimmick than anything. And I have a Sievert torch around here somewhere. I don't use it anymore. I'm not even sure where it is. And let's see. Polishing. Dremel kit. And my Rio Grande kit. I got a lot of my stuff, most of my stuff from Rio Grande. Rio Grande, I'm never sure how to say that. Use these a lot. And then sanding and grinding. I think it says that on the cover. Yeah. Sanding and grinding. Buffing wheels. I don't remember if these were in here or I just put them in there, but miscellaneous buff wheels, sanding wheels. I use the blue discs quite a bit. These are my main ones here. And then of course I have a whole lot of these. What I did, I found a jeweler's getting out of it, and he was selling a kit. That's where most of these came from. And they were in good shape. Lightly used or not used at all, but I got the whole kit. It was my Fordham motor. It's the I don't remember the model. It's a Fordham reversible pendant motor. And then the kit came with this, what is this, C50 or 30. And then I have a whole rack of, these are all 1/8 inch bits. And I use all of these bits with this. That's what that kit came with that I bought. And again, these are all lightly used or not used at all as the part of the kit that I bought. I think it was on eBay. And then I got the quick release. Again, I can't remember the model number, but absolutely love the quick release. But if I'm working on something and, you know, I've got one of my bits in here and then I need to do a little bit more grinding with something else, I'll use this. And then just put this back on. And I have a pile of miscellaneous up here on the shelf. In one of my videos, I showed this shelf I have right up here in front of me. There's a whole pile of them. I don't put them back. I just throw them up there. And my carousel, use this a lot. And whole assorted size of ball burrs and heart burrs, and I bought the carousel thing, but again, these were all part of that kit that I bought off of that guy. I don't remember what I paid. It was a good deal. I did some quick research on what each one of these bits costs and how much the handpiece costs and the Fordham pendant motor, and I'm like, yeah, I'll buy it. It was a good deal. I'd recommend anybody, if you're getting into it, try and find deals like that, get you going. Because the stuff can be expensive. And if you're starting out, you know, I ended up, as I got into the business more and more, I invested money in quality, like where it counts, you know, like I got good files. I bought the best brand name or really well-known brand name of gravers, you know, stuff like that. And other things, like I said, if you can get it at the hardware store, you can get it a lot cheaper just because it's not from a jewelry store. I also got a, what is it, 20, it's mounted, so I'm not going to take it off the wall here, but it was 20 some piece diamond set. They're diamond coated, or various shapes. And it was cheap, and I thought, well, I think it was only like $12 for 20 or 25 different shape bits. I was surprised at the quality of these. I don't know if the camera's going to focus or not, but they come in a little rack thing like with green foam. I'm sure a lot of people have seen them, but I was really surprised at how good these are. I use these for stone, mainly for doing stone work if I'm doing intricate details in stone. There's a few of my bits are worn out. This is probably one of them. A few of them are worn out, but I just buy another kit, you know. I was quite pleased with that one when I found it. I don't remember, unfortunately, where I saw them. It wasn't. I think it was an off-brand company. You know, when you search jewelry supplies or craft supplies, stuff like that. My rolling mill was actually a gift. It's the Durston C150. I used to swear by Durston. Now I swear at Durston. They, you know, you're paying for the name, but I got one rolling mill and I sent it back because the rollers weren't even straight. I couldn't, like, I kept getting waves in my sheet. And I discovered I put a light behind it. I turned all the lights off and I put a flashlight behind the rolling mill, and I had the rollers touching, just slightly touching, and then I started rolling it. And you can see light and then not light, light and then not light. The rollers weren't even straight. I sent it back. I got credit for it, and I upgraded to a better one. And this one I have here, when it arrived in the mail, the top was bent. It had fallen in shipping, and the top was bent. I explained it. I sent some pictures. I'm like, it got bent. The whole top shaft with the wheel and the top shaft, it was bent. So they sent me another one. It was the wrong size. And I emailed them again, and they never responded. So, you know, again, that mill is what, close to $2,000 now. If you get a good one, they work good. I mean, but yeah, there's a lot cheaper rolling mills out there. The calipers. These are Rio Grande sent me. I got one of these, and I got a case somewhere. I told them the case was broke. I said, well, the thing works fine, but the case was broke when it showed up. Can I get another case? They sent me another whole caliper, so I have two of these. Rio Grande has been always really good with customer service. I get my saw blades from them. I still use the basic, I don't know what these are called, the basic saw frame. And a lot of people swear by the new shaped ones. It's shaped like a C. I'd like to try one of those. But I use the basic saw frame, and then I keep my blades in these little jars. I'm running really low on saw blades, but I'll number them and I'll put them in here. And I have a range that I use. I don't go crazy with the ranges because, you know, you get the real chunky ones for big cuts, and then down to the, again, I don't know what the number is, but I wouldn't go smaller than that. I mean, what's the point? I get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I get 7 different sizes. And files. Here's my main files. These are diamond, and again, I use these just for stone. Rio Grande kit, 1144.58. These are pretty nice. They don't last as long as I wish they would, but I mean for stone, you know. But they're nice to work with. And I have my main ring file, flat half round. Frederick Dick number 3. I need to get a number 2. Number 3 is just a little too fine, or this one's about worn out. Maybe I'll get another number 2 and a number 3. It's a must-have, really. And then I got my Nicholson number 3. Use this a lot. I put that hook on there originally for when I'm separating silicone molds that I've made. I mount this to my bench, and then you can use this to help. It's like a third hand to help you when you're cutting a silicone mold. And then I have my, of course, files and fine files. This is a mixture. Some of these are quality files and some are kind of generic files. But your basic, I don't know if they call these, if they consider these micro files or not. And then I have my large, got to get this done file. And then I have my sacrificial file for shaping different bits. The rubber. Let's see, this was kind of a generic kit that I bought, but I got this for wax. My rough files are mostly used for wax. This was a generic kit. And then the miscellaneous, these two, if I remember right, these are just kind of generic, but like I said, I use the coarse files for wax work. Hammers. Hammer time. These are my hammers. Classic rawhide. A heavier rawhide. Gotta have these. Nylon. I don't use this a whole lot. Really. And then you can tell I haven't been working because everything's covered in dust. What are these, planishing hammer? I think. I don't remember. This one says made in Pakistan. This one says Bean Smith. Same hammer. I don't remember why I have two of them. The Bean Smith one, chrome is still on. The one made in Pakistan, the chrome is all flaked off. And this is your basic head's falling off. I use this hammer for making rivets. Brass hammer. Oh, look how dirty that is. Another brass hammer. I like the feel of this hammer. The way it's balanced and the way it fits in your hand. I like this hammer quite a bit. For peening, making rivets, stuff like that. And then rubber. Rubber hammer. I don't know if I've ever used that. That's my hammer collection. Let's see what else. For my solder, I use these. I found this works quite well. I'll put the coil of wire in these pill bottles. I'll label it, and I just drill a little hole in the top, pull them out as I need them. And I use hard, medium, easy, and extra easy. And I'll take a length of that, whichever I'm using. I'll take a length of the solder and I'll pound it flat, and then I'll cut little pallions. And these contact lens cases are perfect for holding little pallions of solder. My mandrels. Mandrels. Oh my God, it's got rust on it. Wow. Basic steel mandrel. What I'll do when I'm making wax rings, if I'm going to make a wax ring, I cut a piece of 2x4 and I bore a hole in it the size of that. I got it fastened to the bottom of my desk, and I'll stick this in there, and then I'll heat the mandrel and I'll run the wax up. I'll get the wax ring, I'll get this fairly hot, and I'll run the wax ring up to the size that I want, and then I'll flip it over. It just melts on, and it's works better than cutting and carving, and I mean, it works great for me. And then the inside is really smooth because it's melted. I gotta start treating these. I can't believe that has rust on it. And then the wooden ones, graphite. I got a few of these graphite ones. They come in handy. You can solder right on it. And then jump ring. I have dowels and sticks and like those tongue depressor things and oval shaped chopsticks. I have a whole section in my drawer over there with wooden stuff. I reach for those a lot. Burnishers. Not a lot to say about burnishers. This basic brass bezel rocker. And the shoehorn shape. And then I have an awl that can be a burnisher for very fine point detail. Gravers. I haven't done a lot with gravers. Actually, I haven't done hardly anything with gravers. It's my intention to get better at it. And my, what is this called? Mill grain tool. I got a couple of different size tips. That's a pretty handy little tool right there. And this stuff, miscellaneous I think that's a cheap one if I remember right, but it works. And it has the points and then it has lead. And then I spent money for a quality one made in Germany. Dividers, compass. A lot of these, like there again, I got these, they were selling them on, eBay or whatever, dental tools. And I've modified quite a few of them to get just the shapes I want for waxwork. A pin that I found. Like I was saying, I go metal detecting quite a bit, but I've actually found a lot of jewelry just in public. I'd be sitting at a park bench and look down, there's a silver necklace. I found an earring, sterling silver, and there's stones all the way around it. I'm not sure what the stones are. I don't, I have to take it somewhere to have them tested, but it looked like an expensive earring. Sandpaper. This is a stir stick for 5-gallon paint buckets. And what I'll do, this is 4,000 grit. I have a pack of 8,000 grit. I don't think I've ever even opened. Usually I just go down to 4,000, but I'll sand like that. And then I have all, the various grits, 2,500. I don't remember what all, 1,000. But that's a tool, right? Your sandpaper. And I have a bunch of these. Various sponges, and you can tell I keep this on the floor. These things, you get them at the beauty salon. These sponges and these sticks are fantastic for jewelry work. I have a bunch of them. Ring sizer. I got one that was wide. I don't want to say wider than normal, but I got one that specifically that was wide because I think you get a more accurate reading when you're trying to size for a ring. And do a little bit of research on how to properly size for a ring. I got my grinders and my stone working stuff is in the other room, and I mean tools is such a vast subject. you can spend so much money on tools. I got this soldering thing here, the honeycomb block. I don't use that very much. And then the screens and the stand. I was using this when I was trying to learn how to do enamel. But that's the basics of my tools. Like I said, there's a ton of miscellaneous. I have these diamond hole bits, or hole saw, for cutting holes in stone. In a few different sizes. There's a bigger one. There's so many different avenues you can get into in jewelry. I was getting into etching, and then I got into stonework, and I'm considering getting a 3D printer. I don't know. To me, there's a part of me that feels like a 3D printer is kind of cheating, but they've come down a lot in price, and I can get an idea for a design or take a bespoke project and, put it into the program and print it. Now they have castable resin. I've got shelves full of waxes and sprues and all of my casting stuff. I haven't casted anything in a long time. I ran out of silicone, and there's something wrong with my vacuum pump. Oh, and for my torch, for my little torch, I use oxygen and MAP gas. What I was reading, from what I understand, MAP gas isn't really MAP gas anymore, but that's what I use for the torch. Anyway, this is a really long video. Hope everybody's doing good, and thank you very much for watching.